This podcast encourages everyone to practice self-isolation and social distancing. From all of us here at the Casual Nerds, stay indoors and stay safe.
This is the Casual Nerds podcast with Eri and Matt.
Hello, welcome to Casual Nerds, a podcast for casual fans. My name is Eri, and with me is
MegaDjMatt.
And it's been 2 months since our governments told us to self-isolate and not go outside, right? It's been too much in Australia, at least. I don't know about America.
It's been 2 months as well, and it sucks.
Yeah, it really sucks. I miss going outside. I miss going on dates and everything, as mentioned in our previous episode.
I miss going outside as well.
But just because we can't go outside and socialize with others doesn't mean that we cannot find other ways to communicate with our friends and family members overseas. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the world of video games, the virtual world, and how they somewhat help us throughout this self-isolation when we can't meet others. So we're using video games to compensate from that.
Exactly.
And joining us later on in the podcast is our audio producer, Marbluu. So Marbluu, say hi.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me. It's really nice to be here.
And I'm so glad that you're joining us today. So yeah, I can't wait to hear from you later on in the show.
Same here.
So Matt, what are your thoughts on the whole using video games to compensate on not having a social life throughout this outbreak?
What are my thoughts on using virtual worlds? Using a virtual world is pretty fun. It's a good way to keep in contact with, family or friends or whatever, or just talk to random people, which is sometimes really interesting, but, I'm for it.
Yeah, I've been using virtual worlds as well to connect with some of my friends, mostly my boyfriend, because we hardly go on dates, so we're now using virtual worlds to go on dates now. At the same time, I'm meeting new people through video games. Like, how do I say this? For example, on Discord, I'm in an Animal Crossing Discord server, so I'm talking to a bunch of people who also have to use Animal Crossing to hang out with people they love or with friends. And it's quite interesting to use video games to just talk to people and do activities since we can't go outside. It's a really interesting alternative.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's not one of my favorite things to do, but, it helps pass the time. And that's what we're all trying to do here. We're trying to pass the time while we're stuck in quarantine.
So Matt, what kind of video games do you like playing? Like, you have a specific genre you like playing, or a title or anything?
My favorite genres are for one, I like playing a lot of old school games. Like on the Super Nintendo, I have an NES. Like Mario Kart, and Mega Man. I also like JRPGs. I like, like Kingdom Hearts and the new Final Fantasy VII Remake. Games like that are some of my favorites to play because they take a lot of time to finish and, go through. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to find things to pass the time, kill time. And those are my favorite kind of games. How about you?
I'm more of the virtual world MMORPGs, so stuff like Club Penguin, Box Critters, sometimes games that are single player but also provide a multiplayer aspect. For example, Pokemon, Mario Kart, Smash Bros, and recently Animal Crossing. But if I'm on my own and I don't have my laptop or my Switch on me, I would just play puzzle games I wouldn't say Candy Crush. Not Candy Crush, it used to be that, but no, my dad borrowed my account, so it made me not like to play it anymore because he just progressed through my account. But I would say Sudoku or some other games like 10 by 10. What other games do I have on my phone? Yeah, pretty much those, stuff like that. The usual iPhone puzzle games. If I'm out and about and I don't have those devices on me.
Fair. Those are some pretty good games. You mentioned virtual worlds. I play a few of those kind of games as well. The only ones I play personally is VR Chat and Worlds.com.
Yeah, I heard about VR chat. I really want to try playing that, but that would mean I need to get a virtual headset, and that would mean I need to get a PC computer because my Mac will not be able to process that game or the headset or all that gear. So yeah, dang, I will have to invest so much money for gaming.
You don't exactly need a VR headset or whatever to play VR Chat. I just use my keyboard and my mic. That's it.
Yeah, but I want that VR experience, just need that VR experience, man.
Ooh.
Like Sword Art Online. I want to experience the Sword Art Online life when I play VR chat.
There's actually some Sword Art Online avatars on there.
Oh my god.
I don't know what characters, because I don't watch the anime, but I've seen them. Like, I recognize their face and everything.
Oh my. Now I'm interested, but sadly, I don't have work, so I can't afford that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Since we're both technically grown-ups already, like we reached the adult age, before COVID-19, we all had work, we all had priorities. When was the time we kind of stopped playing video games? Like, when is the moment that we stopped playing for a while because we had in-real-life priorities?
The moment I really just completely stopped is because, honestly, this whole ordeal, this whole COVID-19 thing, that's what made me start up again. But what made me stop is just life itself. I keep doing voice projects for different people. I keep, groceries keep me busy, going out for walks and everything, trying to keep in some kind of shape. Stuff like that makes me stop. But, yeah, that's what made me stop.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you with life taking over. Because for me, I had university, and one of my New Year's resolutions when I was at uni was to have a social life. So that really completely put a halt in my gaming hobbies. What else? Oh yeah, building up that portfolio since I want to work in media. So that means I can't have any distractions. I have to hustle and build my work ethic and all that. Build my skills up and stuff like that. So that's when I completely stopped gaming, which is a good thing. I'm not gonna lie, but just sometimes I feel like I'm left behind, like I'm way behind compared to my friends who have like all the consoles and yet they're able to play video games and work at the same time. But hey, I want to show that I have no distractions. I want to be able to do things right, and that means I have to sacrifice a few things.
That makes complete sense.
But now we're isolated, and yeah, we're now playing video games all over again, and my old gaming habits are coming back. I mean, I still do work. Like, I work at home for the radio station, but I also spend my time playing video games, and recently Animal Crossing is taking over my life now.
How is Animal Crossing? I haven't played it because I don't have a Switch, but it looks good.
It's really good, and it's really addicting. If I were you, and to anyone who's listening to this who hasn't played the game yet, but I'm pretty sure almost everyone has the game, do not time travel when you're doing the story mode until you reach the final part of the game, the final part of story mode. Then feel free to time travel, because if you time travel during the story mode, it kind of cheapens the game and kind of ruins the experience. But you can time travel your nuts off once you're done with story mode. But that's just my opinion, because when I played the game, the first...
Time traveling your nuts off? Really, Eri? Get your mind out of the gutter. We don't need another explicit rating, okay? One was bad enough.
I do hope you recorded that.
Now I'm just picturing, like, someone's nuts being left somewhere in time while they keep going on without them.
Have you watched Doctor Who? Matt Smith had to be naked in a few episodes.
I've gone up to, like, the second season with David Tennant, but that's as far as I've gotten.
Oof. Okay, back to the... but yeah, this is just my opinion. Like, I'm not telling you to, this is the right way to play, but in my opinion, right, just do not time travel during story mode. Just do it, like, after the story mode. Because just so you get the most out of the game, since literally Animal Crossing is just, it's basically 2 hours of content, but due to the amount of work that you have to do, you're doing it for like 6 hours. It's like they're trying to stretch it out to 6 hours, but it's literally just 2 hours of content just stretched out throughout the game. But it's really fun, and you can do a lot of projects and everything if you're that dedicated. My recent project, as I'm recording this, was creating my rock farm, and I swear to God, that was the most tedious project I ever done, because it involved tiling my entire island, meaning putting everything on the ground, like custom rocks and everything, like custom bricks, designs and all that, and removing any part of soil that is in existence, and just creating this piece of land and making sure that all the rocks appear in that one spot. And it was so annoying, and I ended up staying up till 3:30, and this project started at 6 p.m. So I'm like, what have I done? But it was sort of worth it. Like, people were surprised that I was able to pull it off, but at the same time were shocked on the amount of hours and time that I put in to just build a rock farm.
Oof, sounds like you put a lot of work into this game.
According to my Switch, oh my God. According to my Switch, I've been playing for 310 hours or more.
You must really like that game.
I've been staying up till 3 a.m. just to play this game. And my boyfriend is telling me, you need to sleep, man. You need to sleep early. Try to sleep early. I'm like, I want to, but there's so much to do. I know it's tedious projects, but there's so much you can do in this game.
You know, I'm not exactly like a casual gamer or anything, but like the most I've got is like 30 hours on Mario Kart. And you're telling me you have 310 hours on Animal Crossing.
Yes!
That is a lot of dedication.
How long have I been playing this game? For Animal Crossing was released on March 20, right? And as we're recording this, it's now April 27. So that is like 37 days. 37 days. 37 times 24 hours. That's 888 hours. And let's see, the 310? So 578 hours of that time was me not playing Animal Crossing. So it means it's either me sleeping or eating or hanging out with my boyfriend in any other video game or recording Casual Nerds or doing other work, which, oh my God.
Like, I'm looking at my brother's profile
so
right now.
surprised.
Yeah,
Whoa.
stop. Yeah, my brother's profile on this. He's got like 285 hours on Dragon Ball. He's got 115 on Mario Kart, 65 on Mario Odyssey. He's got 130 on Smash and 160 on Fortnite. Like, I can't even keep up with him. It's like half the time, like it's pretty much his Switch. Like, we're meant to share it together, but he just takes it all the time. Like, I never get a chance on it, and it shows.
Oh, by the way, if you're gonna get Animal Crossing Marbluu, you better decide with your brother who's gonna be player one, because there are no multiple profiles.
Oh wait, really?
Lame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. Apparently, nobody tested the quality of life features in Animal Crossing, so.
Well, I mean, we have like separate accounts, like. So.
Yeah, that still doesn't count. It means that you're gonna be living on the same island.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like.
I am not joking. And there's no file save transfers as well. So, luckily I'm in this Animal Crossing Discord server, and I got along with a bunch of people there, especially with the regulars. I help them with their stuff. I come over. We have inside jokes. So one day, I had to transfer my game from my boyfriend's Switch to my Switch Lite. So I transfer all my stuff because we cannot transfer the save file. So I asked on Discord, is anyone willing to help me move all my stuff? I will reward you with shooting stars in my new island and Celeste in my old island. 8 people came, and it took like 1 to 2 hours moving nearly 2 to 3 storage full of stuff from one island to another.
Harry, I didn't think you'd have this
Wow.
amount of free time. Jesus.
That's insane.
So, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to do, especially when it comes to moving all your stuff. Luckily, I was able to return the favor because someone else on the server, actually this is the owner of the server, she had to transfer all her stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'll jump in since you guys helped me. I'll help you guys. I will help move all your stuff as well. Like seriously, Animal Crossing, you can do so many things. You will not realize that there's projects for you to do, but you'll eventually find something that will keep you preoccupied for hours. And that's why I have 300 hours in Animal Crossing.
How long did it take you to finish the story mode?
When I did a time travel back in my old account, 12 days. But in my new account, since I really want to just fast track to it because I don't want to deal with it, it took me 2 days because of time traveling, and I needed to sleep, and it felt so boring because I already done it.
Like, the last proper Animal Crossing game I ever played was on the DS. I'm an OG. It was, I think it was Wildwoods, I think the name was, wasn't it?
Wildleaf or something?
No, Wildwoods, I think. Yeah, because the one on the 3DS was New Leaf. Anyways,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, like, I played that, but honestly, I don't really remember a lot of it because I was so young at the time. But yeah, but all I remember was that it was like a really nice, fun game. Like, there wasn't anything, like, you had to do. Like you weren't forced to do, like, a particular kind of thing. You could sort of just, like, mess around and then do whatever. But yeah, like, from what I can remember, Animal Crossing was really good. I'm still jealous that I don't have Animal Crossing on the Switch. Right, here's a Switch-related story. So it was my brother's birthday semi-recently, and because we were in lockdown, we couldn't exactly go anywhere to celebrate. So we collectively gave him some money and just says to him, here, have this money, buy something nice with it. So he was thinking what he wanted to get. Like, he was thinking, oh, should I get a laptop? Should I get a phone? But he decided to get a couple of Switch games. So he came to me for some suggestions, and I said, Animal Crossing's pretty good. Like, it's really hyped at the minute. I think it's a game worth buying. And that was it. A couple of days later, nothing had really changed, until I looked at my Switch, and I saw Pokemon Shield downloading. Now, Pokemon Shield, quite controversial game. If you were on Reddit, like, a couple of months ago, like, around November, December time, it got a lot of hate. On Metacritic, as of right now, it has a 4.5 rating, which is in the red, so it's not good. So, I was just thinking in my head, why did you buy this game? This is like one of those games that I said not to buy. Like, he knows himself. This is one of these games you shouldn't really buy. But he did. And you know what the devs did to that game? They cut off the dex, which means that not all Pokemon are transferable to this one. So they replaced that dex, the national dex, with a full-fledged curry dex. That's for food. Where are your priorities, Game Freak?
There's a curry dex. Okay, bye. Thank goodness I paid My Chemical Romance tickets instead of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
My Chemical Romance tickets? Hell yeah. But I saw my brother playing Pokemon, and from what I saw, it's fine, I guess. Mediocre at best. But I don't think it's something that should be worth $60. Like, the graphics alone look like as if they tried to port Zelda Breath of the Wild onto the Nintendo 64. And then they thought, oh, this doesn't look great at all. So they decided to port that onto the Nintendo GameCube, and that's your result.
It's like $80 in Australia.
Oof.
Damn.
What about you, Matt? Anything you want to add on to this?
No, well, you guys are talking about Switch stuff, and I don't own a Switch, so sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's cool.
I mean, not gonna lie, I'm a Mac user, and you guys can talk about your favorite PC games for hours, and I'll be like, oh, okay.
True.
So we're now like self-isolated at home, right? Like we're all stuck at home unless we work at home. We're just or you work outside or something. I don't know. We're just stuck at home basically, right?
Right.
Correct.
So now like the government and adults, pretty much almost everyone, back before COVID-19 was a thing, World Health Organization said, oh yeah, playing video games is like addiction and it needs to be treated. It's like a medical condition and all that. And I remember my dad telling me, why are you playing so many video games? It takes so much bandwidth, blah, blah, blah. You need to be more productive. And then he was happy when I was in university because I stopped playing video games. And now we're stuck indoors. And World Health Organization is saying video games is the best way to help stop the spread of the disease. And my dad is like telling me and my boyfriend, because my boyfriend comes over once a week, telling us, don't worry, you guys have other ways to communicate. You don't have to go on dates all the time. And we're like, yeah, we have Discord and Animal Crossing. But basically, it's a huge contradiction from what they said like last year and the years before to what they're saying now. Like back then they're saying, oh yeah, video games is a plague and it's terrible and it should be frowned upon and it's like a frown in society, and if you play too much video games in China, you lose your ranking points. And now, as we're kind of stuck at home, it's like, yay, video games will be a time saver. It will save lives because you're just stuck at home, and it's a good way to still stay connected with the people you love and friends and whatever, since you guys can go outside. What are your thoughts on this?
Matt, do you want to go first?
You can go first.
So, like, when the World Health Organization first, like, classified gaming disorder as an actual medical condition, a lot of people criticized their move because apparently not a lot of research was done into it. All I could imagine was that all they saw was just, oh my god, this 9-year-old kid's playing Fortnite 24 hours. His mum's bank account's draining away. We need to stop this. And then fast forward now, they're saying, oh no, it's really good. It's a time saver. It's a life saver. It just points to me that not a lot of people know what's going on these days. But like, what I'm trying to say is, not a lot of people, especially adults, like middle-aged people, they don't exactly fully understand what gaming is all about. And this sounds cheesy, but they don't really understand what gaming is all about. They don't understand. Practically, they don't understand a lot of technology, generally, and it's just, sometimes you just look at this and just question yourself, why did they say that? But people suck.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? You want to add anything to this?
Well, the way I see it is, well, like you guys were saying, a lot of people, when they came to that conclusion that video games were bad, people are draining their parents' accounts or maybe their own bank accounts just to play a certain video game or get certain items from a video game, and not taking care of their needs like, groceries, bills, or whatever. And now they're saying like, hey, video games are good. Video games are a way to, not go out, and it helps occupy your time from getting a disease that's out there, and I don't know, it's such a weird thing. It's like they're basically contradicting themselves, and I don't know, it's just strange, very strange, and I don't like it.
Yeah, what's strange about it as well is that this came from the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what happened?
This is like one of the most reliable organizations on the planet, and then they come out with like a really big contradiction. You kind of start to worry, don't you?
I mean, not gonna lie, just hearing that, there's this small part of me that low-key understands why Donald Trump wanted to cut funding. I think it's a bad idea to cut funding from the World Health Organization. Just saying, like, I think that what they do is important. Like, it's literally the World Health Organization. One of the directors helped fight is it Zika or Ebola? I don't remember, but it's one of the disease in South Africa or in Africa.
Oh, that's Ebola.
Or something.
I think it's Ebola.
Yeah, Ebola. He had like a bunch of degrees in medical in one of the prestigious universities around the world. So I understand that there should be funding to help fight this disease, and no funding should be cut. But hearing that contradiction, yeah, I can low-key see why Donald Trump wants to cut funding, because whatever, I forgot what Donald Trump said. He just thinks that they're unreliable, and just hearing that contradiction, not gonna lie, probably. But I'm not saying that the World Health Organization is bad. It's just there's this huge contradiction when they announced what video games are and what they thought of it. They first said it's an addiction, a mental health disorder, and blah blah blah. And now they're saying, yeah, this will save lives.
Coming from the same guy who said, the whole... Did you hear about the Lysol thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the disinfectant stuff.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Inject Lysol into your veins.
First it was Tide Pods. Now it's detergent or something like that. And I'm just like, disinfectant. I'm like, so are we literally just gonna kill our species through eating chemicals?
Looks like it. In about another year or two, most of them will be gone.
So how are you using video games to compensate for lost time in the real life, in the real world? Like, I know someone, I saw this on Twitter, they're using Club Penguin to celebrate their graduation because they're unable to attend their graduation ceremony. I've seen stuff on Reddit where people in Japan are using Animal Crossing to conduct meetings, which was probably a bad idea, but they tried. So how are we using video games to compensate for lost social life in the real world?
I'm on a lot of subreddits, and all I see is just constant people either getting married, getting graduated, or even just, going on dates on and that's all on Animal Crossing, and that's all what my subreddit is, basically. But yeah, I suppose, if you can't go out, it's kind of like the only way you can sort of socialize with people that aren't living with you. So it's if it isn't your family or a loved one, that's pretty much the only way you could actually, make contact with them.
All right, well, what he said is very true. It's one of the only ways to make contact with certain people, whether it be family, friends, or whoever. And honestly, I don't really talk to anybody that I know in real life or even really online when it comes to these, big worlds, because I honestly cannot think of a single person I know just at all that I've ran into on VRChat or Worlds.com. Of course, nobody I know plays Worlds.com. In case you guys are wondering what that is, it's an old... Think of VRChat, but if it was made in the 90s, and in every single world you go into is super trippy because nobody really knew what to do or how to properly make a world back then. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are pretty well put together, but most of them are just kind of strange. I'm not even going to say bad, they're just strange.
For me, it's more on Animal Crossing, on how I'm able to communicate with my friends. A bunch of people that I know who are from the Club Penguin community, a bunch of us transitioned to Animal Crossing since it's fun and the multiplayer aspect, and some of them played Animal Crossing in the past, so sure, why not? Let's play Animal Crossing again. And in my personal experience, Animal Crossing is a way for me to bond with my cousins because, two of them at least, because one lives in the Philippines and they're totally in lockdown with a really strict president who I think declared martial law already. So, oof. And another one lives in South Korea, and according to them, things are getting better in South Korea, so thank goodness. He doesn't have the disease, but we do worry because he lived in one of the countries where there was so many cases before Italy, then the US took over. So, yeah, we use Animal Crossing to communicate and bond as cousins. For my boyfriend and I, we use Animal Crossing as a way to still be able to communicate long distance and all that because he lives an hour away from me and I can't take public transport and everything. So yeah, we're just making the most of our time through Animal Crossing and goof off and do stupid things in Animal Crossing.
What do you do in Animal Crossing exactly? Like, what do you guys do?
I was gonna say this podcast episode was meant to be about video games, but this has turned into Animal Crossing.
I am so sorry, but just to be real, it's a huge
This is
trend
casual
right now.
nerds. You're supposed to just be casually fans about some certain stuff, not be full on fucking weak.
No. The point of casual nerds is to like the content without knowing much of the source material. If that was the case, I would be like, okay, guys, so Animal Crossing in the GameCube is much more superior than the one in the Switch for this amount of reasons. And here's the biography and the encyclopedia of who Tom Nook is.
Eri, you're like a fucking philosophist already. We've heard enough.
Oh, God.
No, I'm kidding.
This is turning into a podcast just for Animal Crossing.
Exactly.
Let's be real though, we haven't played any other video game since Animal Crossing came out because it came out when the entire world told us to be staying indoors. Like, I haven't been playing Club Penguin for a while, I haven't returned to Box Critters because there's nothing much going on at the moment, and yeah, there's just nothing else to play, in my opinion, and I own a Mac, so my gaming stuff is like, the game options I have is very limited. So yeah, I apologize if this ended up being a full-on chat on Animal Crossing, but I think it's an interesting case study on the idea of virtual worlds, because in reality, Animal Crossing is just a single-player game, but they just recently added the multiplayer feature in New Horizons. So, yeah.
Oh yay, more things.
Yeah, think about it. Like,
True.
if you like, I never played the other Animal Crossing games, but I heard they're all single-player. Like, the original on the GameCube and New Leaf, and I think Pocket Camp was also the same. They're all single player. There is no multiplayer feature. It was only now in New Horizons where they added multiplayer, and that's when that changed the game. Literally.
To be honest, like, when you mentioned, like, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, that's, like, one of the very few games, like, that my brain just wants to forget about. I don't know why. I don't know why that is, but I think that, like, whenever it was first announced, there was a lot of hate for it because it was a mobile game. And you know how Nintendo love to treat their mobile games and their users.
Yeah, I played Pokemon Go and I tried playing the Super Mario game in the mobile. I am not paying $10.
Pokemon Go's actually alright. Pokemon Go's actually really good.
I mean, Pokemon Go's alright.
Even though...
It's alright.
Yeah, my brother plays it a lot. I downloaded it the first week it came out, but then I just uninstalled it because I just needed space.
You installed it on the first day, the first week. I installed it on the first day it released.
Damn.
Because Australia got it first. Hell yeah to Australia.
Ireland got it before the UK, so I'm happy with that. So, yeah.
I remember when that game first came out.
Did you ever play it?
No, but I remember hanging out with people that did, and just the weird amounts of, like, just people everywhere playing it was just great.
Okay. Speaking of Pokemon, one of the things I did very recently was, like, I was cleaning up my room because I've kind of, like, fallen out of love of gaming. Like, I'm not as hardcore as I used to be when I was, like, maybe, say, 4 or 5 years ago. I used to be playing a lot of Call of Duty back then. But, like, when I was tidying up my room, I found a Game Boy Advance SP, and inside it was Pokemon Emerald. And I was like, oh, this is an interesting find. And it turns out my brother had an old save file on there. And, like, whenever I came over, like, whenever I showed it to him, like, he was so happy. And for now, he's just been stuck in his room playing Pokemon Emerald for a good time, and it's probably for the best, because that is what an actual good Pokemon game is like. Not that stuff you get on the Switch.
Yeah, I still have to finish my Pokemon Emerald game. I bought it in a second-hand store for cheap, but I couldn't finish it because I was stuck in the electric gym and I don't have a poison-type Pokemon to beat them, and I'm just constantly dying and dying and dying. So I kind of stopped. But I don't want to play Pokemon anymore. I don't know if it's me outgrowing it or it's just that I wanted something new, or Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon ruined it for me. I don't know what it was that made me stop playing Pokemon. Like Sun and Moon, that was great. But Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I was like, okay, this is literally the same game, but they added new things, and I can't be bothered to playing the same game over and over again. Then when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, there was so much drama that I'm just like, is this worth it now?
I remember when you wrote a review on Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, like, I was trying to, because my brother was, like, really into it, like, he wanted to get it. Like, I showed him your review, but he still thought, no, I'm gonna get it anyways, because apparently the stuff they added meant a lot more to him than to other people. I just don't understand why he got it anyway. Like, sure, like, Pokemon Sun and Moon's a good game, but, like, to say that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are bad kind of doesn't really add up, because it's practically the same.
I'm not saying that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is bad. It's just that I'm just playing the same game over again, but they changed a few things, and the Team Rocket battle is literally apparently at the end part of the game. So I'm like, I am not playing the same game over and over. I know they have these fancy new things, but I just can't be bothered. No, I'm tired. I'm not spending another week doing this.
Matt, have you got any Pokemon experiences?
My Pokemon experience is surprisingly not that big. Especially when it came to, like, the DS games. The only one, I don't even remember. Wait. What was the last one I played? I think it was Platinum.
Oh my god.
For the original DS.
Oh my god, I know that game. I have Pokemon Pearl. Now, I will just say this. Pokemon Pearl mastered the multiplayer because of the secret underground bases. I don't know if that feature still works now, because I think they cut off the Wi-Fi network for DS. But oh my god, I remember me and my cousins, we would go undergrounding, and we would raid each other's bases, steal our flags. I think Pokemon Ruby, like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, did the same thing, but it didn't feel the same, because unlike the Auras remakes in the 3DS, you only see, because in there you only see them in the base, you don't see them outside. And in Pokemon Pearl, Diamond, and Platinum, once you go underground, that's the multiplayer world. That's where you get to see your friends and everything. That's where you get to see their bases and all that. So, do you guys have any final thoughts to all of this? Like, what are your final thoughts on the idea of video games being used throughout the whole self-isolation process? How organizations like the World Health Organizations and literally almost every adult in the world saying that video games and online friends are now a good thing compared to before, where they're like, oh yeah, they're toxic people, they're not real friends, blah 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 blah. And what are your thoughts to this whole topic in general?
Well, my thoughts is, video games right now, especially right now, are a good way to, pass the time, keep in contact with friends, family. It's a really good thing. I enjoy it, especially on VR chat. As for, like, the whole World Health Organization thing, I don't know. It's just weird, because for years, whether it be gaming or not, people saying that online friends are not real, even though some of the really good friends I have are online friends, like you, Marbluu, some others. I don't know if I should name them, but, I've met a lot of cool people online. I like them. And, it's just weird. I don't like the fact that it just went from, these things are bad, and now these things are good. Do them. And it's just a whole mess. But if they're encouraging it now, that's great. But also, to anyone listening out there, still be careful of who you decide to be online friends with, because there are still some shady people out there. I'm not saying all of them, but there's still some.
Well, he's just pretty much explained what I was gonna say, but, like, the only other thing I could say is that, yeah, video games and gaming pretty much does kind of improve your kind of, like, time in quarantine. Definitely passes the time. But yeah, I mean, he pretty much explained it. I've got nothing else to say for that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Matt. Like, I am quite surprised on how the world's view on video games has switched from it's bad for you to now it's saving lives. And I'm quite surprised on my parents' point of view when it came to video games. Yes, they're kind of concerned when I said I spent like $40 on amiibo cards for Animal Crossing just so I can get rid of certain villagers. But when I said I bought a Switch Lite for a really, really cheap price, which was a shock to them because it's been a while since I bought video games, they're like, if as long as she's at home and she doesn't go outside and it will just keep her indoors, sure, why not? We'll be concerned, but at the same time, at least she has something to do. They still wish I find work and do something, but they also understand that there's nothing much we can do since no one is hiring, there's not a lot going on, and we're all stuck indoors, and people are doing budget cuts due to lost revenue and everything. So, yeah, at least video games are keeping us preoccupied. But I just low-key wonder, or really wonder, I don't know if it's low-key, but I do wonder, once this whole pandemic is over, will the world's view on video games go back to the way it was? Or will it still remain the same? Like, oh yeah, it's a lifesaver, it saves lives and blah blah blah. Or will it go back to it's now a plague?
I think it might be sort of in the middle. It might be like, it's alright to play video games, it's alright to have online friends and all that, but still, limit how much you play video games. Don't do it all day. At least try to go outside, do something, just don't stay inside all day. I don't know. I think it's just going to be split bit down the middle. That's what I think.
I kind of want to think optimistically, and I do want to hope that video games will be seen as as a good thing, as sort of like a pastime that is not considered like absurd or like irregular. Like it could be like classified as a normal thing, but we just don't know. We don't know for sure. But I just want to hope that video games will be seen differently.
So yeah, that's the end of our podcast. I hope we were all able to learn something about this. Thank you, Marbluu, who's our audio producer of this podcast, for joining us. So thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Eri.
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry. Glitchtastic makes really consistent uploads. I have a YouTube channel. It's a really big deal. It's got 17 subscribers. What I do is I read diary entries created by a Discord bot, and I try and read them dramatically with keeping a straight face. And that's all I do.
And yeah, he's also the composer for my music. So I think he released some demos on his YouTube channel and it sounds out. So yeah, subscribe to him. This has been Casual Nerds. We'll see you guys next time. If you'd like to hear more, feel free to listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and all that. So yeah, and YouTube as well. So feel free to press like, subscribe, press the notification bell, and tell us, do you play video games? What are you doing to pass the time during self-isolation? What games have you been playing lately? And yeah, this has been Casual Nerds. My name is Eri, and with me is
MegaDjMatt.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Bye.